Before I get started, just want to take this time to recognize Denver Peacock and the countless volunteers that are focused on what we're going to discuss today. Before us today, we have Secretary of Tourism, Parks and Tourism, Secretary Stacey Hirsch is with us today. Let's give her a round of applause. I have Judge Barry Hyde as well, Pulaski County. And we have our consul here today who will be coming shortly and will be introduced by Denver Peacock. What we want to talk about today is as our city continues to grow forward, we're experiencing historic jobs growth of close to 7,262 jobs. Our population now is 202,591. But what we're here today is discuss what our city has been able to do over 300 years as we celebrate our tricentennial and understanding that some 300 years ago, our French explorers identified, they saw La Petite Roche, and therein lies the name of Arkansas State's capital city, Little Rock. As we think about Little Rock and all that has happened, the good, the even better, the times of understanding that we acknowledge our past, one, so we do not repeat it. But we acknowledge our past and understand our past so we know how we shoot towards our present and our future. We are a city on the move. But as we're on a city on the move, we have to acknowledge all that we've gone through. And we know not only was it and put things in historical context, was our French explorers who identified La Petite Roche, we also understand that our brothers and sisters of indigenous people, the Quapaw tribe, they too knew this land. They too had led this land. And in context together, as we move and unite our city, as we continue to move forward, we take this time to commemorate this occasion. Commemorate the occasion to understand that we are a diverse city. We're a city that's focused on innovation, technology, economic development, affordable housing, a city that's focused on her people, which is our greatest asset. And as we focus on her people, we understand that we want to understand our past, our present, and our future together. And so it takes the team that we have assembled here today. It takes the volunteers that are going to focus on this commemoration. It takes the ties that we have with our brothers and sisters from France as we continue to move forward together. And as we know, as we see things going across this great country and this world, we are better together. As we focus on peace, as we focus on liberty, but as we focus on growth. And so on behalf of the city of Little Rock, we're excited to be focusing on not only the past 300 years, but the next 300 years. And the next 300 years will continue to be focused on unity, growth, and transformation together. Thank you so much. Well, we'll now have Pulaski County Judge Barry Hyde.
Good morning. You know, it's a pleasure to be here today, and thank you, Mayor. Really a few great words, and appreciate it, and very appropriate. Denver, thank you. Denver is kind of one of the model citizens that you just always see at every event, who's active, kind of behind the scenes, and valued and important constituent of Little Rock, and certainly of Pulaski County as well. You know, just a couple years ago, Pulaski County celebrated our 200th anniversary, and it was really a big event, a great source of pride for hopefully all the folks in Pulaski County, and an opportunity for a history lesson for everybody on where we came from and how we began. And so this is an even more important and going back 300 years, and that history lesson of where we really started. The French explorer coming down the river and making note of La Petite Roche, and didn't realize at the time what a landmark that would become, and what a history and what a people would grow around it. So thank you for being here to celebrate this wonderful event this morning, and isn't it great? Thanks.
We'll now have this great opportunity to bring before us today Secretary Stacey Hirsch.
Thank you so much. To the Honorable Frank Scott, Honorable Barry Hyde, and the Honorable Beatrice Moore, and to all of you that have gathered, thank you for being here for this very special occasion. We all appreciate our shared history and heritage. Big thank you to Denver Peacock for your hard work in ensuring that this significant anniversary is properly recognized and celebrated. Denver's a PR guy, and I know he knows the term overexposed, Denver. But I have to tell you, anything, as the mayor noted, that is, and the judge noted, that is significant, that is happening in Little Rock, Denver just seems to be at the forefront. So I just, as a citizen of Little Rock and a former city council member, I want to say thank you, Denver, for your leadership in bringing this together. No, I'm not walking away just yet. Or you're not walking away just yet. It's difficult now to imagine exactly what this area must have looked like to explorer Bernard de la Harpe as he made his way up the Arkansas River. But we know that this area, with its two distinct rock formations on either side of the river, must have made quite an impression. Since the European discovery of La Petite Roche, we have now seen 300 years of development in culture, commerce, engineering, government, all of which have left indelible marks on the banks of this river and the area that surrounds them. It is our honor and our privilege at the Department of Parks, Heritage, and Tourism to protect and promote the best of this state. I want to recognize several staff members who are here today. Stephanie Wade with Historic Arkansas Museum, Jeff Lemaster, who's our Chief of Communications. I saw Ellen Kornblatt earlier. Thank you, Ellen. We're so proud to partner with this group on this celebration. To identify distinct and interesting pieces of our history, our job is to tell the story in full. When I look at this boulder today, I enjoy thinking about the countless people who have lived and visited here over the past 300 years. From the native people who made this area their home long before any Europeans set foot here, to the early settlers who carved out a community amid abundant natural beauty. From the leaders who led us into statehood in 1836, and to the leaders who later led us through crisis that shook the foundations of this country. From these wooded riverbanks, we have seen commercial empires rise, political aspirations realized, and cultural expressions cemented and celebrated. I look forward to celebrating with all of you in the coming weeks as we commemorate the tricentennial of the discovery of Little Rock. This will be a special time to reflect on our history and look ahead to our future. And that future is bright. As we at the Department of Parks, Heritage, and Tourism continue to strengthen our communities and promote the things that make people want to visit and live in all corners of our state, we are mindful of the unique draw of our capital city and our surrounding area and its importance to Arkansas. Thank you again for being here today and for your love of our great state. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you so much, Secretary Hirsch. When one thinks of the word partnership, you understand that with partnership you have to have communication, you have to have collaboration, but most important, you have to have compassion for one another. And that's the type of partnership that not only the United States has had with France, but what Little Rock has had with France. Whether it's the Dassault Falcon jet from an economic development perspective, or this right here today commemorating 300 years, we've had a strong allyship. And we're so grateful to have the Consul General of France here with us today, Beatrice Moore.
Mayor, Judge, Secretary, Denver, Mesdames et Messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, today I speak on behalf of France, because I would like you to know that we are very proud to be part of the history of Little Rock. Jean-Baptiste Bénard de la Harpe, 300 years ago, he was a native of Saint-Malo. It's a French town, not a big town over the ocean. He came here, he walked here, where Little Rock is now. It belongs to our heritage too. Who was Jean-Baptiste Bénard de la Harpe? He was an officer, a trader, an explorator, an adventurer. But what he has in mind too, he had a dream. He was dreaming to find a treasure. When he left New Orleans on Christmas Eve, 1721, with 25 men, he had the mission to explore the Arkansas River as far as possible. He wrote on his journal that in March 1722, the water was not red and muddy anymore. The water was clear and transparent, and you could drink it. It was on the Arkansas River. Later on, in April, he found the rock. He called the rock le Rocher Français, the French rock. This was the name that he gave this rock. And he put his mark, the mark of his passage, and I think he put the mark of the future, your future, our future. What I will tell Jean-Baptiste Bénard de la Harpe, he found the treasure. He found the rock and he found Arkansas. This tricentennial commemoration is also a great opportunity for us and for you to recall our common heritage, our common history, and to try to connect even more France and Little Rock. I want to thank Denver and his team for the love and the passion for their city and also the hard work. I'm looking forward to come next month with the new Consul General of France in Houston, Valérie Baraban, to participating in a few events. And I would like to say long live to Little Rock, long live to France, and long live to our friendship. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's beautiful remarks. As others have said, my name is Denver Peacock, and I'm honored to chair the La Petite Roche Tricentennial. On behalf of our volunteer task force, many of which are standing around here, thank you so much for being here today. We're delighted to join with Little Rock Mayor Frank Scott Jr., Secretary Stacey Hurst, Judge Barry Hyde, Arkansas Honorary Consul General of France Beatrice Moore, and all of you to announce the La Petite Roche Tricentennial. Over the next year, we will come together to mark 300 years since French explorer Bénard de la Harpe first came upon La Petite Roche, or the Little Rock, that gave our region its name. We are committed to honoring the history of our founding, and we couldn't do it without the generous support and involvement of those who spoke today, plus those behind the scenes, including Scott Carter, Leland Crouch in the City of Little Rock and Parks, Tourism Director Travis Naper, Diana Long, Gretchen Hall, and the entire team at the Little Rock Convention and Visitors Bureau. I think I saw Libby Lloyd here. North Little Rock Mayor Terry Hartwick and the City of North Little Rock and the CVB with Karen Trevino and her team, as well as Gabe Holmstrom, Michelle Gilbert, and the Downtown Little Rock Partnership. I'm grateful for the dozens of volunteers who have made this a reality. It's a labor of love for all of us who care about our community, our city, and our region. So many of our friends at the Little Rock Regional Chamber, the Little Rock School District, UA Little Rock, CALS, Karen Fetzer and the Rotary Club of Little Rock, Ed Levy, Jason Chaco, Kara Wilkins, Susan Grubmeyer, Chris King, Jason Irby, Tyler Denton, Ellen Kornblatt, Ross Alyoung, Chris Bond, Stephanie Wade. I've seen so many of you here today. Thank you for being a part of this. Our arts and cultural partners, historians, and many, many others have helped in planning over the past year. It truly takes a village. The Tricentennial Anniversary provides community members and visitors with unique opportunities to rediscover the Rock and celebrate our diverse history and heritage. We hope residents and visitors from across the state and region will join us to mark this milestone anniversary year. You can get more information at littlerock.com/300. We welcome everyone that would love to participate in the festivities throughout the year. And if you want to get involved, please contact me or any of these folks here around the rock here. We welcome your support. To kick off this year-long celebration, we will host family-friendly gatherings, including service days, a free community concert with fireworks, attraction exhibits, and educational programs highlighting the importance of this discovery in Central Arkansas and for the state. These kickoff events will be held over the first 2 weeks in April, which marks 300 years since Harpe discovered La Petite Roche. Some key highlights include the La Petite Roche Service Day on April the 2nd, with our faith community coming together to serve our Little Rock parks, particularly this area and War Memorial. The first ever visit to Arkansas of the Consul General of France in Houston, speaking to the Rotary Club of Little Rock, and some other activities, as well as a historic Arkansas Museum dinner featuring Quapaw cuisine, and a Tricentennial Restaurant Month that the CVB is going to be kicking off. On Saturday, April 9th, the anniversary will include a morning dedication event with family-friendly activities, kid rides, bounce houses, vendors, and cultural and historic offerings with the Early Arkansas Reenactors Association, the Quapaw Nation, and others in the afternoon. And then that evening, we'll all join together for a free community concert and fireworks celebration right here in the park. An Arkansas-themed concert with Randall Shreve and the DeVilles, Philander Smith Collegiate Choir, and others will provide entertainment prior to the fireworks. More information can be found online as we continue to update details about the events for April and beyond. In closing, in the late 1940s, longtime Arkansas Gazette editor and owner J.N. Heskell discussed what he felt was Little Rock's lack of awareness of its place and history and importance. In a speech, he said, "The 200th anniversary of the discovery of our rock was allowed to pass absolutely unnoticed. If the year 2022 should pass with no proper observance of the tercentennial of the discovery of the historic rock, don't say I didn't warn you." Well, I'm here to say, and all of us are here to say, Mr. Heskell, we listened, and we will not let the 300th anniversary pass without a proper observance. All of us from both sides of the river will together over the next year present a visual reminder to Mr. Heskell that we took his challenge to heart. And we hope that 100 years from now, the next generations will do the same. Thank you to everyone for your engagement and support. We look forward to joining you here again in early April as we mark 300 years, our region's namesake founding, and the La Petite Roche Tricentennial. Thank you.